Hello everyone. Welcome to this channel where we share stories of all kinds. Today I have a very special episode for you. It's a story about resilience, self-discovery, and moving on. So let's dive in. It was a cold Monday morning in the bustling city of New York. Ivy was sipping her coffee, lost in thought as she prepared for the day ahead. Her phone vibrated, pulling her back to reality. It was a text message from her best friend, Lily. "How's your day going so far?" Ivy smiled and replied, Same old, same old. You?" Little did Ivy know that this seemingly ordinary day would take a turn that would change her life forever. Ivy and Lily had been best friends since college. They shared everything, their dreams, their fears, and most importantly, their stories. As Ivy read Lily's reply, a wave of nostalgia washed over her. It was a sunny afternoon like this that Lily had shared her exciting news with Ivy, news that had brought a whirlwind of emotions to Ivy's life. It had been 3 years since that fateful day when Lily had excitedly told Ivy about her pregnancy. Back then, Ivy had been on cloud 9 for her. It was a dream come true. But as the days passed, a dark cloud had gathered on the horizon. One day, Ivy noticed changes in her partner, Michael's behavior. His once loving eyes seemed distant. His touch, which used to be so tender, now felt cold. And the promises he had whispered into her ear were now lost in the wind. When she confronted him, his response only added fuel to the fire. "This isn't what I planned," he said, his words like shards of glass piercing her heart. "What do you expect me to do?" Ivy was stunned. She couldn't believe the words coming from the man she loved. In that moment, she realized that the dreams they had woven together were nothing but empty threads. The baby that once symbolized hope had become a burden. Ivy's world crumbled around her. She found herself abandoned, alone, and pregnant, grappling with a choice that felt unbearable. With tears streaming down her face, she made the agonizing decision to end the pregnancy. She didn't want a baby that was unwanted, that would only bring pain to both the child and herself. Days turned into weeks, and Ivy threw herself into her work. She poured all her energy into it, hoping to drown out the echoes of her pain. Her colleagues noticed her dedication and hard work, and slowly but surely, Ivy began to rebuild her life. She moved into a small apartment, and though it was lonely, it was hers. She decorated it with mementos of happier times, trying to piece together the fragments of her shattered dreams. Slowly, Ivy began to heal. She found solace in the support of her family and friends, and she started taking small steps towards moving on. She signed up for pottery classes, took long walks by the sea, and spent weekends with friends. Each day was a struggle, but with each sunrise, she felt a little stronger. One day, Ivy came across a job listing that caught her attention. It was for a marketing executive position at a reputable company. Despite her initial hesitation, Ivy decided to apply. As she polished her resume and prepared for interviews, she knew this was a chance to reinvent herself, to prove that she could succeed without Michael. Finally, Ivy put on a professional attire, straightened her shoulders, and walked into the interview room. She faced a panel of interviewers, their expressions unreadable. But Ivy was determined to make a good impression. She spoke about her experience, her passion for marketing, and most importantly, her resilience. As she looked back, she realized that her journey, though painful, had shaped her into a stronger individual. The interviewer seemed satisfied with her answers, and as she left the room, she felt a sense of accomplishment. In the following days, Ivy waited anxiously for the results. She had given it her all, and now it was out of her hands. Finally, she received a call. "Ivy, we would like to offer you the position." Ivy's heart soared. She had done it. She had taken a significant step towards rebuilding her life. As Ivy settled into her new job, she immersed herself in her work. She tackled projects with enthusiasm, impressed her colleagues with her innovative ideas, and climbed the corporate ladder steadily. Years went by, and Ivy became a respected marketing executive. She was known for her strategic thinking, her ability to connect with people, and her unwavering determination. However, despite her professional success, Ivy couldn't help but feel a deep sense of loneliness. She missed having a partner to share her triumphs with. She longed for the warmth of a loving embrace and the joy of building a family. One evening, as Ivy was returning home from work, she noticed a new restaurant in her neighborhood. Intrigued, she decided to check it out. The aroma of spices filled the air, and the sight of happy customers made her curious. As she stepped inside, she saw a man standing behind the counter. There was something about his smile, the way he interacted with customers, that drew Ivy in. His name was Leo, and he was the owner of the restaurant. Over time, their friendship grew. They shared stories, laughed together, and most importantly, supported each other through the ups and downs of life. Leo was kind, compassionate, and understood Ivy's need for connection. And as Ivy found herself drawn to him, she realized that she might be ready to love again. Months went by, and Ivy and Leo's bond deepened. They started dating, and Ivy couldn't help but feel butterflies in her stomach. Whenever she was around him, Leo was everything Michael wasn't. He was loving, supportive, and honest. With Leo, Ivy felt safe to be vulnerable, to open up and share her deepest feelings. And as their love story blossomed, Ivy realized that she had found not only a partner, but also a best friend. However, fate had another twist in store for them. One day, Leo confessed to Ivy that he had a son named Ethan. He had never mentioned Ethan before. And Ivy couldn't help but wonder why. Leo explained that he had divorced his wife a few years ago, and Ethan lived with his mother. Though Ivy was surprised, she understood that Leo's past didn't change the man she loved. She was willing to accept Ethan as part of their lives. As time passed, Ethan became a regular in their lives. He would spend weekends with his father, and Ivy cherished the moments she spent with him. Watching him grow and learn filled her with a sense of joy she had never experienced before. But as Ethan settled into his new routine, Ivy couldn't shake off a nagging feeling. She had a great relationship with Leo, yes, but there was always a part of her that wondered why he had kept Ethan a secret. One rainy afternoon, as Ivy and Leo were cozying up on the couch watching a movie, Ivy finally decided to ask the question that had been on her mind. "Leo, why didn't you tell me about Ethan sooner?" Leo looked at her, his eyes filled with understanding. "I was afraid it would scare you away," he admitted. "I didn't want you to think I was holding something back." Ivy reached out and took his hand. "Leo, I love you and I love Ethan. It doesn't change anything between us." Leo's face broke into a relieved smile, and Ivy felt a surge of happiness, knowing that she had put his fears to rest. The years that followed were filled with joy, laughter, and love. Ivy, Leo, and Ethan formed a beautiful family, and Ivy couldn't imagine her life without them. She learned that love could blossom in the most unexpected ways. And that family was unjust about blood ties, but about the bonds of love and commitment. Now, many years later, as Ivy sat sipping her coffee on that cold Monday morning, she couldn't help but smile. As she read Lily's messages, she thought about how far she had come, from the depths of despair to the heights of love and family. Her journey had been a roller coaster, but she wouldn't trade it for the world. Because through it all, she had discovered the true meaning of love, resilience, and the strength of the human spirit.